Hello viewers! In case you somehow missed my introduction, this is my new whip to go alongside the Miata. Now, with this bike being electric, you might assume it has the word future written all over it. But there are some things missing from that equation with the Zero, and that is especially in the lighting department. Now, the new Zeros actually have a bit more LEDs happening from the factory, but this one in particular, basically the 2018 and even the newest S, the Zero S, is pretty much all incandescent from the factory, which is a big bummer because electrification. And just like the Miata, I am actually converting this whole thing to LED. Conveniently, the previous owner had already done some things, primarily the turn signals. These are daytime running lights, and when I flip the turn signal, switches to that effect, which is pretty cool. But from the front, the daytime running lights look really good, but they're such white, pure like LED light, and then you have this ugly halogen looking thing. It's all yellow. And it was all yellow. I did steal a bulb from the Miata, which for some reason is not lighting up right now, actually. But that was stolen from the license plate light under there. Same bulb type goes in the top up here, which is basically a daytime running light, which is weird because they're all running anyways. I don't know. And then back here you have what I think are LEDs from the factory inside the brake light, which is good. And this I think is even LED. It's white anyways. And then these are the turn signals on the rear. So a lot of it is already converted, but I wanted to fix this front lighting element because that is also such a component of the actual LED signature lighting of the bike. It's what people see when you're coming at them. Fortunately, my new friends at AutoOne reached out and offered to help with my lighting issue with the Zero. So here in this box is an H4 bulb, LED, ready to go. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to replace the bulb in the Zero SR, which is the same as the DSR and the S, and so many bikes that have this exact lighting element for a long time on Zero. This is applicable across a huge range of the model lineup. First of all though, I'm gonna do the unboxing on my nice table that is the rear of the NC Miata, and we'll see what's inside this package. Pretty simple. That's just the, the mailing slip. And there's the box. AutoOne. I guess purple and yellow are their colors, which looks pretty good. And it says motorcycle LED bulb. So they do sell bulbs for cars as well, lots of bulbs. But this specifically is an H4, which some cars have that as well, but they sell it in single, which is great. Because a lot of bulbs, when you buy for cars, come in sets of 2 because most cars have 2 of everything. So nice that they have that, but just open it up, nicely padded. Very simple unboxing, as you would hope. And pulling this out, oh, it just looks cool. Not that you have to focus on the looks of LEDs when you're designing them, but it does help. And I think this looks super rad. So, looks like a lot of heat sink action. Should keep it nice and cool, I'm hoping. But yeah, that's it for the unboxing. Super simple. Can't wait to throw this in. By the way, this is linked below in the description, as well as our affiliate link with AutoOne. If you guys need any LED bulbs for your car or your motorcycle, use that affiliate link, and that gives us a little bit of a kickback, which really helps the channel, helps with making more videos, helps with making awesome quality videos. And with that being said, let's install this thing. So all you really need tools-wise is a 3mm and a 4mm Allen key kind of bolt type thing. Because these up here are 3mm, at least the ones that came with this turn signal kit. I'm assuming that those are the stock ones, but I don't know for sure. This turn signal kit came aftermarket. And then a 4mm one for this down here, which just loosens this assembly. So you don't have to fully undo this, just loosen it. But I will start with the 3s up here. And that's all you need for the top. Now, the windscreen, if you have a windscreen, just has to tilt backwards. And sometimes if it's really tight, you may have to loosen its bolts, which in my case are also 4mm Allen key things. And to get more leverage, you may need to grab one of these. Now the whole thing should be able to just slide out from underneath the gauge pod. There we go. Now behind the gauge pod, you have access to everything. So the small bulb you can see up there, I'm actually gonna be doing that in the future video. The main thing we're looking at is this one right here. There's this like rubber kind of weatherproof seal that you'll want to remove, and the bulb itself just unplugs, just like that. Now, when I actually got the bike, I forgot to mention this earlier, but it came with this interesting flasher module. So it flashes the front light to give you, I guess, better visibility. And it also has a flashing rear module to modulate the brake light, like make it pulse when I pull the brakes, which gives a bit more awareness to people behind me. Those are safety options. I did remove the front one, but I left the rear brake one. So if you want a flasher assembly for the front of a motorcycle, let me know. I have one, but I'm just gonna replace this bulb here. And by the way, maybe this is a given, but you'll wanna let it cool down. Incandescent bulbs are hot. So there's this little plastic ring here. Pull that out. That's what locks the bulb into place. Pull the bulb out. That's what the 1800s looks like compared to the future. Oh, I'm so excited. So it sits in there, and then the third plug is up facing, and then you put this ring back on to secure it. So ran into a small issue. Basically, the bulb has a bit of a divot in here, and that's where the plastic part sits once it locks in place. It has these like pieces that sit into the divot. The new bulb is ever so slightly narrower, so had to adapt, and I think I did it enough. I used vice grips on this to grab and pull the little like tab things and basically make them super thin. So hopefully it lets me do it. Also, by the way, you may want to undo the top light bulb just to give you a bit more play with this whole assembly. But throwing this back in here, throwing this back in here. Aha, the bulb is now centered, locked into place. Next up is this rubber waterproof housing. Then plug it in. Then plug that in. All one-handed, how about that? Now, before you completely reassemble it, test it. Power the bike on, and boom, both are shining bright like a diamond. This is ever so slightly different temperature from the top LEDs, which is interesting, but still is much brighter and whiter than the original incandescent bulb. Now that I know it works, turning it back off, back to the reassembly portion. Boom, good as new, and you can see all the crazy light refractions because of the pathetic iOS glass on this iPhone. But fully LED zero motorcycle. Now, I'm going to shut the garage and show you an A/B comparison in controlled lighting, AKA darkness. And I use the exact same calibration on the phone so you can see exactly how they differ. So you can tell it's a very specific spread of light. I'm gonna go see how it looks like actually like on a street at night. But in the garage, you can tell it's definitely much whiter, no longer yellow. And oh yeah, that looks really good. Really not a bad front signature for a bike that's really wasn't designed with LEDs from the factory, but I think it looks fantastic. And you got all the bulbs there, turn signals, that shows the rear. And here is the brake flashing thing I talked about. So it flashes for a bit, but not the entire time you're on the brake, which is nice. You're not just sitting at a light with it flashing incessantly. Let's go take it out and see how it looks on the road at night. So here's some actual night riding. Yeah, it's not projector housing, so you can't really expect that much fantastic throw, but it is definitely better than the halogen that it came from. I especially love the color temperature, obviously. It's just LED, it feels more modern. I feel like I'm riding something of the future rather than something of the past, and it does throw light pretty well. especially on these like fully dark roads. So that was the, you know, night roads with street lamps. Now on this fully dark road, it definitely does show how well it throws light. And then when you throw on the brights, it's definitely focuses light way in front of you. Now it's directly in front of you, so you're not gonna see brights like some cars where it throws super left and right, but you'll see a lot of stuff directly in front of you. So that's it. That's my first mod on the Zero SR. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, thank you AutoOne for sending me this light, and check out the link in the description for this light as well as all their other lights. And yeah, this is should be a fun project. Let me know what else you want to see on the Zero. There's a lot of things I have in mind. Obviously not nearly as many as the Miata, which is also getting lots of LED light treatments and such. It's just everything's a work in progress here in this garage. But yeah, for now, it's these two Stormtrooper looking things. I don't know, I didn't plan on white and black as the color scheme, but it's kind of what's happened. So ghosty and goes T. Does that work? I plan to do, obviously the Miata, I'm doing lots of mods on. The bike, there's not as many mods to do per se, but a lot of adventures. Once again, I live right on the edge of the canyons. So there's so many crazy mountain adventures to be had in Colorado. I'd love to see how I can do with the electric range. What can I do on one charge? What requires charging stops? How long does it take to stop? We can get really nerdy on that if you want. I love EV stuff, but thanks so much for watching. Once again, we'll see you in another video very soon. My arm's tired. Cheers. Perfect.